Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Welcome back. We are looking at the combat rules for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Player's Handbook will be out in 2 short days, August 19th, 2014. And I did a video on the rules and overview of combat, so hopefully you got to watch that. But I'm going to give you a quick example here of exactly how things run in 5th Edition. Kind of a little more, talk about a little more specifics here, and kind of show you how things work out. So we're going to have a nice group of orcs here hanging out at the campfire, and the player characters are coming into the scene here, and the DM has determined that neither side has surprise. They both see one another. And so at that point, everyone is rolling initiative, which you can see over here on our little combat charter. Of course, I'm using Roll20.net. You can check out the software-free VTT, Virtual Tabletop, that you can use to play role-playing games of all kinds of awesomeness. Definitely check out the website. Check it out. It's free to use. Of course, you can become a mentor or a sponsor. So, and get more exciting features. And anyways, so we have our tournament here. Everybody had rolled initiative, so just like every other rules variation of Dungeons and Dragons, basically you're going to roll a 20-sider, add your dexterity modifier to see how quick you are, how quick you react to the situation. And in this case, we are going to do it by, of course, highest to lowest. So our orc archer here gets to act first. So again, for those of you who forgot or didn't watch our overview of combat, I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about specifics. You need to watch that. So the orc archer decides to stand up because he's sitting on this log here and move. So standing up is going to actually take half of his movement. If I actually look at, again, these are hit points, this is armor class, and this is movement. Should be for standard for all the characters here. So you can see as a movement of 13, we're going to assume standing up is, or getting up from prone is half your movement. So he is going to spend 15 movement points to stand up from the log and start moving. He's going to move 5, 10, 15 more feet, so that's his complete move. Actually, let's do it this way to show you some of the rules. 15 feet to stand up, another 5 feet to go there, so he's up to 20. He is going to go there for 25. At that point, he's going to stop and take a ranged attack action. So we look at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 feet away, he's going to shoot at this dwarf here, down here in the bottom. It's within his normal range, so he doesn't have disadvantage to the shot. And we're just going to, I've got some little macros here to automatically roll the attack and the dice. So, or the attack and the damage. So he rolls an 11. So he rolled an 8 plus his 3 bonus. Gives him an 11. We can look at Derek. Has an armor class of 18, so the attack misses. So he still has 5 more movement points that he spends to move there, and his turn is done. So interesting enough, in 5th edition, you can actually break up your action, your move action, to do an action. Next up, Derek the dwarven fighter here. He is going to perform a dash option. No, actually he's not. He's just going to perform a normal move action. He's spending 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, which is his full movement there. And as he's moving up there, he's going to interact with the environment or object during his move. And in this case, he's going to pull out his battle axe, and he's going to try and chop the orc grunt's head off that's happened to be sitting there in front of him. So I think I have his attack as well. There we go. He rolls at 19. If we look at the orc, He has an armor class of 15, so the 19 hits, and he does 7 points of damage. So minus 7, you can see the orc is severely wounded from that attack. So he did his attack, and he did his move, so Derek's turn is done. Blackrock is next. Blackrock is going to do a double move action. He's going to dash. So his movement normally is 30 feet. He's going to get 60 feet of movement, so 5, 10, 15, 20. Again, this will consider this hex difficult terrain. So the whole hex, since there's just a little bit in the DM, we'll just say it's just normal. So 5, 10, 15, 20. At that point, he will go into difficult terrain for 25, 30. And then 35, 40 for difficult terrain again. 45, 50 for maybe it's difficult terrain because there's a body, his bones and everything laying there on the ground. Again, he's inside this unit's attack area, but as long as he doesn't leave it, he will be fine. Just take that off. So he moved 55 feet, and his turn will be done. And again, as he's doing this, he will pull out his weapon, whatever that weapon happens to be. It is weapon battle axe. All right. So he's done. He did a dash action. Next, the other orc archer is right here. So this orc archer spends 15 feet to stand up. He has 15 feet left. He decides to step into this space right here, and then for 5, so he's at 15 to stand up, another 5 feet to move into this hex, and then he's going to spend another 5 feet to move into this hex. When he does this, Blackrock swings his battle axe at him because he has left his threatening area. And he has a reaction left. And I'm not sure why I don't have his information yet. Let's see. He's got 11 hit points. Armor class of 18. And a movement of 30. Okay. So let me add these in really quickly here. Let's say 11 hit points. 30 movements. 18 armor class. Alright. So when he does that, the orc archer will get to be attacked by Blackrock, which he will do. Let's see what his... pretty sure I know what it is. 1d20 plus 5. Alright, we'll do his attack. He rolls a 15 plus 5 is 20, which hits. It is 1d8 plus 3. Let's look at a sheet really quick. Sorry, folks. I should have had this. I don't know why it wasn't done. Weapons. 1d8 plus 3. I thought it was, but I just wanted to double check. And does attack of 10 points of damage. The orc archer here only has 10 points of damage, or 10 point of life. So minus 10 brings him to 0. So this creature is killed. Dead. Alright. Next. See, it was very unwise for him to leave the threatening area of Blackrock. But Blackrock has now spent his reaction. He has no reactions until his end of his next turn. Ikawa's turn. He's a elven fighter. He is a ranger elven fighter, though, so he has a bow. He is going to do an attack. First of all, he has 35 feet of movement, so he's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20 feet right there. And then he's going to take a shot at the orc grunt with his longbow. Let's just check his attack. 2 hits plus 3. Nope, that's his hand axe, sorry. Attack is +5, 1d8, +3, okay? So he'll take his shot with his bow, trying to hit this orc grunt right there. 1d20 +3, is that what we decided it was? Gosh, I can't remember. I'm an idiot. 1 +5. Okay. +5. So he rolls an attack of 1. +5 is 6, so that is a miss. So he has 5 more feet of movement left. I believe he only moved 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He actually has 10 more feet of movement. He is going to move 5, 10 for. So he moved his 35 feet, and he'll be done. Or grunt. Which one is this? This is him. So he is going to stand up for his 15 feet of movement. And then he's going to move here for 5 more feet. That is 20. He's going to move here for 5 more feet of movement, which is 25. And then he will stop, and as he's moving, he's going to pull out his scimitar and slash at Blackrock here, who rolls a natural 20 as critical hit Blackrock. Good to see, because now I get to show you what it does. So normally you roll 1d8 +2, which he did. He rolled an 8, +2 is 10. But because he rolled a critical, he gets to roll another 1d8 of damage. So you get to do an extra. Come on, back up. Thank you. Roll 1d8, an extra 1d8. Of course, he won't get his modifier for damage on there more than once. He just gets the weapon damage. So critical and the normal roll plus your modifier plus an extra die of damage. So he has done 16 points of damage to Blackrock. If we look here, he has a maximum number of 11 hit points. If we subtract 16 to that, you will notice he goes to -5. -5 is not enough to kill him. He needs to be at -11 because he has 11 hit points. So at this point, he will just go to 0. And is knocked unconscious. The orc grunt gets a critical hit on him. Awesome. Alright, next. Orc grunt number 7, which happens to be here. So same thing, he's going to stand up for half his movement. Now, standing up from prone and sitting getting up from a log are probably 2 different things. Your DM might rule it's only 10 feet of movement or 5 feet of movement or whatever. But just for ease of things, I'm just going to say it's standing up from prone is half your movement. So he has 15, and he's actually not going to move. He's just going to actually, he doesn't like the fact that he's getting shot by arrows over here. So 15 and another 10 to move into there is 25. And then another 5 to go over there is 30 feet of movement. And then he's going to take a swing at Derek, who, Orc Grunt, take another shot here. He rolls an 18 +4 is 22, which is a hit against his armor class of 18. And he's done 7 points of damage, 5 on the roll, plus his 2 for strength. And so Derek is going to lose what do we got? -7. So what does that give him? Gives him 3 points left, and he, again, is severely wounded. Surge! Here we go. Here is Surge. He's our magic halfling, magic user. He's got a speed of 25. He is going to quickly look at his range of his spells and decide what to do. Magic Missile is 120 feet range. You notice the action. It's cost 1 action for casting time. It has verbal and somatic components. It's indentationist. No. instantaneous. He's going to create 3 glowing darts of magic. Each dart hits a creature of your choice. It deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. All darts are strike simultaneously. You can direct them to hit one creature or several. So he is going to spend. Well, he doesn't like the fact that this orc grunt is targeting his buddy that is severely wounded. So what he's going to do is he's going to send 2 magic missiles at the orc grunt here. And he doesn't like the fact that this orc grunt is standing over his now fallen comrade. So he's going to send 1 at the orc grunt up here. So 2 at this orc grunt. So I actually have this one calculated already up for us for ease. The first one does 5 points of damage. The second one is 3 points. You notice there's no attack roll. This is one of the very rare spells that just automatically hits. So he does a total of 8 points of damage to this orc. Minus 8, and poof. Oh, knocks him down and out. And his last magic missile comes up here to this creature, this orc grunt at the top, and it does 3 points of damage. So minus 3. And then Surge decides to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And he is done. Orc Archer over here in the corner. He is going to... He's going to go ahead and spend his move action and move 5, 10, 15, and then he's going to shoot at Surge here, and he will shoot his bow. He has rolled an 18, which against his 11 armor class is a hit. Fortunately for Surge, he only does 1 point of damage. Fortunately. Then the Orc Archer is going to spend his last 15 movement, 5, 10, 15, to kind of cover himself back up if Surge wishes to try and cast a spell this way. Derek. Derek is severely hurt. Fortunately for us, Derek is the cleric of the group. Where is he? Here he is. He has spells of awesomeness. Cure Light Wounds. A creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1 to 8 plus your spell casting ability modifier. Spell casting ability modifier, which happens to be 2 for wisdom, but he also has let's look at his character sheet under class here. He's taken the life domain, which gives him bonus proficiency. When you choose this domain at first level, you get proficiency with heavy armor. You also have discipline of life. Starting at first level, your healing spells are more effective. Whenever you use a spell at first level or higher to restore hit points to a creature, that creature regains additional hit points equal to 2 plus this spell's level. So he's going to gain 3. 2 plus the spell level is a first level spell. So 3 plus 1d8 plus his modifier of 2. So 1d8 plus 2. Let's see if we have that here. 1d8. Roll 1d8 plus 2. Enter. 1d8 plus 2 is 7. Plus his 3 for his life domain gives him 10 hit points back. Whenever you get hit points back, you cannot go above your maximum. They don't count as like temporary hit points or anything like that. So his maximum is, what was his maximum? 10. So he's only going to go back up to 10, which is just fine with him. So he casts a spell on himself, and then he's going to move 5, 10, 15. And notice how he got out of the way so his buddy can get a straight shot in there. And even though he's in his threatening area here, he can move here because he is he's not leaving his threatening area. So good maneuver there. In fact, he could even try to move behind him, but he thinks that position is probably good enough. So he'll just go there for his turn. Blackrock. Alright, so Blackrock is down and unconscious. So what does he need to do? He needs to make a death saving throw. He needs to roll 1d20 and determine the results. So again, if you roll a 2 through a 9, that counts as a failure. If you roll a 10 through 19, that is a success. If you roll a 1, it's counted as a critical failure, and you take 2 failures. And if you roll a 20, you immediately get pulled back up to 1 hit point, and you are still alive. You are then able to act normal. So let's see, his death saving throw is... Oh my gosh, he rolled a 20 on his death saving throw, so Blackrock becomes... he goes up to 1 hit point. And let me check a rule on this. So if you make your death saving throw, is that an action? Let me see. Hang on just a second. Okay, folks, I was checking, and I don't see anything specifically in there. It just says when you start your turn with 0 hit points, you make a saving throw called a death saving throw to determine whether you creep closer to death or hang on to life. Roll 20-sided dice, blah, blah, blah. When you make a death saving throw and roll a 20 on the D20, you regain 1 hit point. So it doesn't say it takes like an action to make a death saving throw. So I would just say that he has found his second win. He's got 1 hit point now. So he has a move action and his regular action. So he will stand up for 15 of his 30 movement points. And as he does this, he's going to grab his weapon that's laying there on the ground next to him. And he is going to swing. He is going to swing his axe at the orc in front of him. He's got payback, so he's really hoping. He yells out, screams, hopefully that he doesn't have a failure. So on his attack roll, he rolls a 3 plus a 5 equals 8. So that is a miss, unfortunately, for Blackrock. He has 15 more movement speed. So he will move... let's just move that guy out of the way for a second. 5 feet to go there. And 10 feet to go there. And he's holding on by a thread, but he's still... I can't believe it, he's alive. Orc Archer, which one? He's dead, so we don't need to worry about him. Alright, our Ranger fighter here. Decides to spend 10 movement, take a shot at this orc grunt here. We know it's 1d20 plus 5. Let's take a shot. He rolls a 4 plus 5 is 9, which is not good enough. He spent 10 movement. He's then going to spend another 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Actually, 35, he's going to come here. Alright, so he's going to kind of circle around the battlefield as he comes, trying to hopefully get an attack at either one of these guys. That could be causing problems here. Orc grunt number 1 here. Purple dude. Okay, well, he sees Blackrock is now standing up. Of course, there is no facing in this game, but I'm just going to have him turn around and swing his axe and kind of cackles at Blackrock and says, I've knocked you down once. I'm going to kill you again. Alright. And Orc Grunt, let's do his attack. So he rolls a 16 plus 4 is a 20, which is a hit again, and he does 6 points of damage. So, not sure why this guy is up to 11. He should be at 1. Sorry. Let me check. I think... What did we do here? Save changes. Alright, there we go. So he was at 1 hit point. Not sure why he was at 11 there. Apologize for that. Anyways, he's hit him for 6 more points of damage. So here we're going to subtract 6. 6 brings him to -5. -5 is not enough to kill him. It would be -11 would instantly kill him. So at that point, he just goes back to 0 and falls unconscious once again. Orc Grunt number 2 is dead, so we don't have to worry about him. Surge, our halfling wizard here. Let's see really quickly what he can do to help everyone. He's actually going to cast, he probably should have done this first off, just in case he gets attacked again. Probably should cast Mage Armor on himself. $15-foot cube, that could be interesting. Now what he's going to try and do is he's just going to cast Magic Missile again for ease of play here. He's going to send 2 missiles trying to kill that grunt, and then the last missile over here on the archer. So 2 missiles at this guy. Again, this actually, you know what? No, let's not do that because we already showed you that. Let's try something else. Let's try this other power here, the Cantrip Firebolt. So 120 feet. It costs 1 action to do. It has verbal and semantic components. It's instantaneously. You hurl a bolt of fire at a creature object within range. You're going to make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 fire damage. A flammable object hit by the cell ignites if it isn't warned or being carried. So 1d10 on a ranged spell attack against the target. Let's see what his ranged attack would be. Hello, let's go. Yes, here we are. So we'd have a +1 to his attack. Yeah, I mean, you know what? He's just gonna. He doesn't have very good odds to hit with that right now. So he really needs to make sure his buddy over there does not take any damage from this orc. So he's going to spend 2 magic missiles there, 1 over there. So let's just roll them. There we are, magic missile. Does 4. He does 5 on the second one, so 9 points of damage to this guy. Oh, that's exactly what he had left. Notice he drops to 0 hit points, and in normal monster will just be killed. Depending on your DM and what's going on. And the last one comes over here and hits this character for 4 points of damage. So of course we're just going to subtract 4 from his 10. He's going to have 6 left. And then he's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right there. Alright, so Orc Archer is here. Now, good thing is Derek moved up adjacent to him, so if this guy decides to attack him, which he's going to do, he's just going to try to attack him with this bow. It's going to be disadvantage because he's in close, he's within 5 feet of a character doing a ranged attack, and so disadvantage again is just rolling 2 of the dice and taking the worst result. So we have the orc bow of attack of 5 and a. Well, let me see what happened here. Okay, so he rolled 1d20 plus 3 and got an 8. Sorry, I'm auto having it roll the damage as well for speed. And the other attack was a 9. So 8 or 9, he chooses the lower, so he takes an 8. And that, of course, is a miss. Now Derek gets to swing back at him with his attack, which is 1d8 plus, or 1d20 plus 5. And he rolls a 1 for a total of 6. Again, he's going to spend 10 movement points to move, or 10 movement factors, because we'll just say the DM says that's difficult terrain to kind of get up on top of that log there. So 10 movement factors, he's just going to stand there and be done. Blackrock is now down again. He is unconscious. He needs to start making death saving throws again. Again, a death saving throw is just a 20-sided dice. 2 through 9 is a failure. 10 through 19 is success. 20 gets you back up, as you saw earlier. And a 1 is a double failure. So he rolls a 12, which is a success. So he has 1 success. And that is the end of his turn. Orc Archer is dead. Ikawa. So Ikawa is going to move over here. 5. And then he's going to spend an action to try and stabilize Blackrock, which he does with, again, a simple little skill check of medicine, which he has a bonus of 0. But it's a DC of 10, so he's going to need a 10 or higher. Nope. Here we go. So it's just going to be a 20-sided dice, no bonus. He has rolled 11, so he has stabilized Blackrock. Blackrock will no longer need to make death saving throws, unless, of course, he takes more damage or takes any kind of damage or from an attack. So that was 5 feet of movement. He also has 30 feet left. He is going to pull out 2 hand axes. He's just going to drop his bow as a free action, and then he's going to spend 5, 10, 15 to go there. And as he's moving, he's going to pull out 2 hand axes. I'm assuming he can only do 1, so we'll only have him pull out 1 at this point. So he has 1 hand axe out, because it says you can only interact with the environment once on your turn. He's already spent his action to perform his stabilization, and as he's coming over, he lets everyone know Blackrock will live. So, Orc Grunt, you are dead. We don't need to worry about you. Orc Grunt number 2, you are dead. Surge, Surge's turn. Now he is out of spell points. He's cast all of his first level spells he can for the day, which is 2, until he recovers 1. So he's out of surges or spells, but he can still cast his cantrips. So he's going to cast Mage Armor on himself, which again takes 1 action. Touch, verbal, somatic, and material. It lasts for 8 hours. It's going to give him an armor class of 13 plus his dexterity modifier, which just so happens to be 2-1. So he's going to have an armor class of 14 now. A little bit better. So we will change his 11 to a 14. So he's now got an armor class of 14. And then he will... So he casts the spell as part of his movement. He's going to move 5, 10 feet there. And as he's moving there, he's going to interact with the environment and actually pull out his crossbow, I believe he has. Crossbow weapons. No, he only has a dagger at this point, so no crossbow. Alright, so he'll pull out his dagger just in case the Orc Archer gets funky and tries to shoot him. Next, Orc Archer, the only one alive, I believe. Yes, he's not feeling too good about things here. He's starting to get surrounded. All of his comrades have been killed. So he is going to... He's kind of in a tough situation. He's going to move here, which again is fine because he's still within Derek's threatening, and he's still within Ikawa's. He hasn't left anybody's threatening range at this point. Then he's going to move here, which is still within Ikawa's range, so he doesn't get an attack of opportunity from him, But he does get one from Derek. So Derek is going to try and hit him with his battle axe. He rolls a 12, which is not good enough. So then the Arc Archer, being very sneaky, is coming over here for his movement. Actually, you know what? Oops. Let's disregard that for a second. Let's go back to where he was here. Unbeknownst to the characters, goblins. Actually, hang on a second. I will show you here in just a second. Alright, so we're back. As you can see here, if you've downloaded the new Dungeon Master quick basic information thing, just like the player one, if you download the DM one, you notice it has monsters in there. One of the monsters is a goblin, and you will notice goblins have nimble escape. Unbeknownst to the players, a goblin can take the disengage or hide action as a bonus action on each of its turns. So they're very nimble. They can get away whether you want them to get away or not. So the first thing this Orc Archer is going to do is he's going to hop away. He's going to go here, 5, 10. At that point, Derek's like, I swing at him, and the DM says, oh, he just ducks under. He's just too quick. You can't even get an attack on him. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then he is going to take a shot at Surge here. Straight down the line. And, I have this one. In there. So he's rolled a 20-sider. He's rolled an 18, which is a hit. And he did only 1 point of damage. Surge is getting very lucky with the damage. So he lost another hit point. He's down to 4. And that's the Orc Archer's turn. Next is Derek, who then decides 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's had enough of this little goblin, and he is going to take him out. So he rolls an 11, which is actually a miss. The goblin has an armor class of 14. And he will be done for his turn. The next is Blackrock, who has been stabilized, so he does not need to make a saving throw. But he's still unconscious. Hasn't taken any damage, so he's okay. Orc Archer is dead. Normally I would take these guys out of the list, but Ikawa's turn. He's moving 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25... 30 feet, and as he's moving, he's pulling out his second hand axe, so he's going to take 2 attacks. This time he's using the dual attack action, plus 3 to his attack. Okay, and so the first attack plus 3 is a 2 plus 3 is 5, so he misses with his first main hand. His offhand attack, same thing. It's a critical hit, so he's going to do double his normal damage, but since it's his secondary attack, with his 2-weapon fighting, he does not get any strength modifier added to that. So hand axe is 1d6. So in this case, we're going to be rolling 2d6, and no strength modifier because it's his offhand, and we get damage of 7 points to the orc, or to the goblin. -7 puts him at -1 and kills that creature. And the combat at that point is over, and you can see how 5th edition combat, quick and easy. A lot of maneuvering around, lots of decisions to make, where you're standing, how you're going to get there, whether or not you take attack of opportunity to move into a better position or not, but still easy enough to tactically be interesting, positioning wise, making sure you're in the right locations, but quick enough that it gets done very, very quickly. Of course, this would even be twice as fast if I was playing with other players and they were controlling their characters, and boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't have to keep looking up information on their sheets and everything. So the 40 minutes that I put it in, you could probably play this encounter in maybe 15 or 20 minutes, no problem whatsoever. And a lot of interesting things. The fact that we had some death saving throws, we had some critical hits, lots of interesting things happened to show you how things happen in the system. And so you can understand how it plays out quickly and easily. So that's 5th edition combat. Kind of an example for you on how it's done and some of the rules associated with it. Again, the only thing I was not 100% sure about, there's nothing in the basic rule book, is when you make your death saving throw and you recover, does that mean you get your action for the turn? I'm assuming you do. It doesn't say specifically one way or the other, but we'll just assume since it's not in there. And for ease of play, you go up to 1 hit point. It doesn't cost you an action. So you have a move and you have an action. So you can start, doing your normal things. Now, things we didn't do is pushing or trying to knock an enemy prone or grappling. We did do ranged combat close. We did look at cover from enemy or allied creatures. And that was pretty much all the rules. I think there wasn't too many we even missed, so that was a real good example. So let me know what you think. D&D 5th edition combat overview and how it would play out in a normal situation. Of course, when this is first level and you're looking at higher level combat, you're going to have a lot more things to be doing. Characters will have new abilities. Like, for example, one of the things we didn't even get into, if we look at our characters here, the class here, the Blackrock has an ability here where you can protection. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on that attack roll. Remember, you only get one reaction, so you wouldn't get an attack of opportunity later or anything like that. But you must be wielding a shield. And of course, the fighters had their second wind, which we didn't even do either. So lots of different character class things that are going to come into play for you, for your players and such. So hopefully this will give you a good example of how 5th edition, again, streamlined rules, keeping things flowing, keeping things moving forward. Don't have to worry about modifiers, pluses and minuses. You're either getting advantage or disadvantage. I really like that. And just, ease of, how is this going to best be played out easily, but still make it so that there's some tactical advantages and disadvantages you can get yourself into, or you can cause the players to get themselves into. And still make it interesting and fun for everyone to do. But it's not going to take 8 hours of gameplay just to get one encounter done. So let me know what your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions are, what you think about 5th edition D&D, and let me know if you see anything that I might have done wrong. I don't think I did, but and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.